Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I've got Bournemouth versus Chelsea today, but before we head to the ground, I'm just going to grab a quick cheeky coffee on the seafront. Catch up in a bit. I'm just on my way to the ground now. Probably won't do a full match video today, but I'll certainly try and grab some atmosphere. Should be a good game today with Chelsea after their defeat to Bayern Munich. I think they're going to come out all guns blazing, I would have thought. So probably do Chelsea attack first half, but anyway, probably just going to cover. I've had a few questions in the week on autofocus tracking and how I set the tracking sensitivity on that. File transfer protocol, FTP sending. Show you a bit about how to set the camera up to send to the server and where I plug in, etc. And also, I've had a few questions about the stool that I sit on. It's a really handy stool, so I'll show you that as well. So, just going to go and get signed in now. Sorry guys, I just realised that wasn't on wide angle, so you got a nice close-up of my ugly mug. But just got to the ground, so I'll go and get signed in. Yo! You alright?
Yeah, yourself?
Ah, not bad. How's it, back from New Zealand? Spot on. Lovely, thank you very much. Yeah, just gonna... Right, so here at Bournemouth, slightly different setup to Southampton. We've got a box with 6 ports in. Instead of them being spread sort of every 10 foot down the digital boards, we've just got the one box, so good to get here early and make sure you get a port quick. So I've got my Ethernet plugged into one of the ports here. This box is just connected obviously to the main stadium router somewhere, not sure where, but so that's plugged in there. I'll shut this lid down. And then, like you saw on the last video, we just plug that into there. You can see that. So that's in, and then I'll press play. See, and on the body here, I've got a set button. That obviously comes up when you're connected. That tells you when you're connected. So that's that sorted. I know we're connected now. I've already sent a test frame of the flag there with the sun shining through it. And once it's sent, you get a little circle sent, so you know that it's a little circle symbol, so that you know that it's all sent. And that is it really. I might just send another one. Let's just see. Oh, that's last week. So let's send that one, and then if you look at the LAN LED, it should flash green. So I'll send that one. So you've got your LAN LEDs now flashing. It says it's transferring, it flashes quicker and sent. Quick as that. Literally 2 seconds and it's sent. So really good signal here today in Bournemouth. And that is basically how to wire straight from the body. Beautiful day here, really windy though, but hopefully no rain. So I've just come up into the stand just to get out the wind a bit, but just going to show you quickly if we can hope this will work all right. So to get the FTP set up, the file transfer protocol. So I wasn't too happy with my presentation of the FTP entries, so I'm going to do an edit at home again. Not quite as good quality because we're not in daylight, but looks okay. So here we go. Right, third page in the yellow menu, communication settings, we need to enable, and then scroll down to network settings, interconnection wizard, FTP trans already highlighted, so scroll down to OK. Wired already highlighted, so into OK. Couple of seconds, it'll bring up the IP network address, which is always the same, so OK that. FTP address is next, so address setting, OK. So there's already a setting in there which isn't ours, so we'll use the bin button to delete that. So you now hit the Q button to bring you into the lower menu, and then you can either use the joystick or the wheel. So I'm going to use the joystick, series of numbers, so I'll just enter that. It's a little bit tedious, but that's that entered. So hit the menu button to enter that. So that is now correct. Okay. Passive mode disabled, leave it as it is. The proxy server is also disabled, so we leave that as it is. Now the login method needs changing. We don't want it saying anonymous, so we scroll down, login password, and OK that. Again, using the bin button, hit the Q button, scroll through, we've got letters this time, so just scroll through them. Obviously I've blurred this out because I don't want to be telling the world the FTP address for PA, but I just wanted you to see all the controls really, so we'll hit menu OK for that. Password, load of stars, so we'll just delete that with the bin button. And again, hit the Q button, into the lower menu, and just pop in the password. That's that menu for OK. Now we need to select the folder, and this folder is my surname, so we'll select that and OK. So we don't want that /, so we'll just delete that with the bin button, and then Q button, into the main menu. Now my folder is my surname, so that's that, and this is where all the images will go within the FTP server box. So menu for OK, and there we are, connected. So hit the OK button, and I want to give this a set number. So I'll give it a number 4. I've already got it in as home. OK that. That's FTP. Right, just a quick brief outlook on the WFT wireless transmitter. So that plugs into the side of the body. Just got to get that locator right and get it done up. Come on, do up, you little bugger. That's it, that's nice and tight. Basically all that is, it's just for Wi-Fi. So I use my phone, use the hotspot on the phone. So again, I'll go through them settings in communication settings, third page on the yellow section of the menu. Put in my hotspot password, and it really is as simple as that. It's just like connecting a device at home really on your Wi-Fi router. So sometimes a little bit slow, like today there'll be 12, 13,000 here today, so it's a little bit slow when you're using your phone signal at half time because everyone goes on their phones to check the scores and everything. But overall it's a great piece of kit to use when you're not wired in. If I go to a lower league ground, obviously there's no ports, no wire sending, so we use the WFT sender. Right, so I'm just going to show you guys autofocus tracking and how I set mine up. Obviously everyone's different, but this is how I like to set mine up. So I'll use case 2, which is continue to track subjects ignoring possible obstacles. Obviously if I'm tracking a player and he runs past another player, I want to make sure that the focus point stays on that player that's sprinting and doesn't swap to the player that's static. So I go into that, so use the lock button or detail set and then enter that, and then I've got mine at +1 on the responsive, so that's in that section. And then scroll down to acceleration, deacceleration, I'm flat out on that, +2, just so that I know it keeps up with my moving subject. And then the auto focus point switching, obviously it's at 0, and that is the settings that I use. So +1 in case 2, +2, and then obviously 0. And then just press the info set again. I mean, there's lots of, what you got here, you've got 6 different settings. Just a case of trial and error really, but I tend to use the tracking subjects, case 2. Just one more piece of kit to go through is the remote body that goes behind the goal. 7D Mark II, cracking piece of kit. We use these transmitters, Pocket Wizards. This is a Pocket Wizard +3 obviously. It's got about, I think, 20 different channels on it. I just set mine to channel 7. What you have got to make sure is that not everybody else has their remotes on 7, otherwise you'll be firing everybody else's body. So set to receive, RX, set to receive. Now that should have a hot shoe foot on it, but mine got hit by a ball last season and I haven't had it repaired yet, so all I've done, obviously it should go in the hot shoe there. I just put a bit of Velcro on the back, Velcro it to the leg of the tripod. It's actually safer there than sticking up off the hot shoe. So we've got it set to channel 7. So this will fire whenever I fire my 70 to 200 for any goalmouth action. So that's that wizard, also set to channel 7. It's set to transmit. So just pop that in manual focus. Obviously this will only fire when it's in manual focus. It's cold today, drippy nose. So I'll just test it. And there we are. So that, whenever I fire now for any goalmouth, I know that that's going to set up. It's a handy tool. If you get blocked by any players on the 70-200, there's always a second chance you'll get the goal on the goal cam. Obviously not as good quality and not composed as well, but just gets you out a bit of trouble if you miss a goal on the 70-200 for any particular reason. And I will set this to about 12/50th. And now, because I want a good depth of field, I'll set it to about F6. Let's have a look. I'll probably go F7.1 because it's going to be a bright day. So 7.1, it ensures then that you've got a good depth of field and you'll get that player in the goal kicking it into the net, kicking the ball into the net, all being well. And the last thing I do to get the focusing right, because it's on manual focus, I'll get it onto live screen and then I'll zoom it in a bit. And I'll just tip it forward and I shall manually focus. If you can imagine that's, I don't know if you can see that very well, if you can imagine that that's the goal line, I'll manually focus it so that it's nice and sharp on the goal line or just past it, and then take it off live screen, and you know now that that's all going to be in focus just past the goal line. And with it being at f7.1, you can get a bit of depth a bit further out as well. And that's the remote. So another question that I've been asked recently is voice tagging. So obviously when we're sending, let me just grab this. When we're sending wirelessly, we put a tag onto the image that we want to send to the desk, or the set of images, and the first image will always have a tag on it, my voice tag, and basically that's telling the editor back up in Nottingham exactly what's going on that frame. And I'll show you that now. It's ever so simple. Just put this down again. It's a bit Heath Robinson this, but right, so that's the microphone. I don't know if you can see it there. That's the little microphone that I speak into to tag the images. So let's just scroll through. It's in, there we are. So it just tells the body what function you want. So you can do it just to, you can set the lock button to rate, or you can set it to rate and play or record. And that's what I've got that set on. And it really is as simple as that. So now I know when I'm talking into that, you just hold the lock button down, hold that down, and it'll obviously record the tag. So as long as you want, up to 30 seconds obviously. Let go of that. And then there's a symbol, little music symbol that's appeared now, top of the screen. I hope you can see that. You know that that's the image with your voice tag on. And then obviously I would now just hit the set button and that would wire straight off to the desk. Before I forget, I'll show you the stool. It's a Mini Max stool. Get them off eBay. I'll put the link in the description. Basically, fantastic piece of kit. Set it to all sorts of different heights. Obviously, squashes down, goes into my roller case really easily. You've got the strap. You just twist and pull. And out it comes. I've stood on this, and I'm a hefty piece of gear, so I've stood on this, never been an issue, never let me down. This is the 4th season it's done. They're about, I think they're about 50 or 60 pounds now, so they're not the cheapest stool, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day. A lot of lads have got them now. It's called a Mini Max stool, and I'll put the link in the description below. I hope those few tips are handy for you. I'm just going to head outside now to quickly try and see if I can find any fans arriving. Try try and grab a bit of atmosphere, and then Chelsea should be arriving in about a quarter of an hour, so I'll head outside, see if I can get them coming off the coach, and then head pitch side and try and get some of the players checking out the pitch. That's the arrivals of Chelsea team getting off the coach. Got a few nice frames, nothing special, but just making my way around the pitch now to where I'm going to sit and shoot some warm-up. So that's warm-up done. I'm just heading to the goal now to set the remote camera up. That's the goal cam set up. Because it's so bright, I've knocked it up to 2000 shutter speed and it's at f7.1, so should be okay. Just head into the dugout now for manager's handshake and kick-off. That's the handshake done. Just heading back to the spot now to get set up for kick-off. I love that. He's a partially sighted lad who sings the chant before every kick-off. It's great, love it here at Bournemouth. So that's the first half done. Chelsea 1-0 up, Alonso goal. Not the best of frames of it, unfortunately, or the celebration. He ran the other way for a start, but the sun is right on the roof of the stadium opposite me, so of the stand opposite me, so awful haze, but we'll see what we can make of it. He's picking up the old goal cam. I'll have a look on there in a minute, see what we got of it, probably nothing. But I'm going to move down anyway to the other end, carry on with the Chelsea attack. Still a bit hazy, but playing havoc with the settings and the ISOs, but there we are, we'll get by. So just heading down there now, see how the second half goes. Here's some frames from the first half anyway. Jefferson Lerma equalises. Game on. Jefferson Lerma equalises for Bournemouth, 1-all. Got a nice frame in that too. Here it is. That was a mistake moving. Not always glamorous, this job. Hailstones 1 minute, sun the next. The sun is awful. Alonso second. Absolutely nothing with that frame. The haze is that bad. Now the sun goes in straight after the goal. Bloody typical. Fingers crossed the goal cam got something for Alonso's second, because I didn't get anything because of that haze. Well, weather certainly didn't help me there. That haze was awful. Might be able to make one frame of the Alonso equaliser, but not a lot from that. Check the goal cam. Got a couple of nice frames, but there's two gigantic raindrops on the lens from when it hailed, so can't really rescue them either, but exciting game nonetheless. Here's some frames from the second half. Well, what a game that turned out to be. We had all the weather thrown at us, hailstones, crikey, that lasted about 10 minutes. Then the sun was shining most of the game, just above the stand opposite, so loads of haze. That's ruined quite a few frames for sure, but can't really escape that. You can't even try and cover any of it with your hand because it just obviously gets in the way. But tried my best with that, but we'll see what the desk have made of them. And I don't know if you noticed, but I had the 7D back on the 400 today. A couple of weeks ago at Saints, both my 1DXs suffered water ingress during Storm Dennis, if you can remember that weekend. A rotter of a weekend. So I sent them both off, got one back, but I've still not got the other one back. So I'm a member of CPS, Canon Professional Services. So they're really good and they'll send you out spare kit if your kit is in for repair, and as my body is still at fixation, they sent me one over, and I received it yesterday with UPS. Cracking service. Only ordered it Thursday when I realised my body wasn't going to be repaired in time. Anyway, tested it yesterday afternoon on my lens, set it all up for how I wanted to use it. Gets to the game today. Went out to do some fans arriving, wouldn't work, just wouldn't focus.
So I don't know what's up with that, but I ended up obviously putting that into manual focus and then putting it behind the goal. So it was still used it, but the 7D, it's not as fast, obviously, not as big a sensor, a little bit noisy at times, but I got away with it on the 400. But hopefully, fingers crossed, my body will be repaired for next week. I can have the 7D back behind the goal, but we shall see. But yeah, so all in all, bit of a dramatic day really, but I'm not overly confident that there'll be any uses of my frames in the papers tomorrow. If there is, I'll put them at the end of this video like I did last week. But all in all, a bit of a roller coaster today, but hopefully there's a few tips and tricks in there that you can take on board for your own photography. And on to the next game now. I think it's Saints Newcastle next week. I'm not sure, but hopefully I'll be there. I don't know if I've got any shifts in the week yet. We shall see tomorrow. So that's it, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. It'd be great if you could give it a thumbs up, and it'd be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button. We'll catch up soon.